Undeniably, Blake Shelton prides himself in being a mainstay on the popular show The Voice. After his longtime tenure, he compares himself to Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak. Additionally, he teases a possible comeback for the show. In 2023, Blake Shelton left The Voice fans in shock by leaving abruptly. Unmistakably, he had been a staple of the show since its start. After 23 back-to-back seasons, Blake admitted he needed a break. While Blake was a fixture on the show since its first season in 2011, he knew it was time to do something else. Without a doubt, he still holds the record for most wins by a coach on The Voice. Notably, he took the win in 9 different seasons. Additionally, following Blake's lead, his wife, Gwen Stefani, left the show soon after him in 2024, before the start of season 25. With Blake Shelton's long run on The Voice, he easily identifies with longtime Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak. Undoubtedly, the years of filming have taken its toll on Blake. Furthermore, he compares himself to Pat's iconic host role of 41 years. Blake says, "I've done it for 23 seasons without missing a single season, you know." While Blake's stint didn't last nearly as long as Pat's, he thinks he understands what Pat must be feeling as he approaches retirement. Blake exclaims, "I know what you feel like, Pat Sajak." Admittedly, he knows how tired he was after 23 seasons and can imagine the dedication it takes to stick with one job for 41 years. Then relating, Blake adds, "Because that's kind of how I was starting to feel." All in all, Blake Shelton reflects on what the trade for a career like The Voice or Wheel of Fortune takes, adding, "If you're on back-to-back seasons, there's really no time for any other thing, you know." Accordingly, he points out, if you didn't want to have a family and a life that much, you could do it. But something has to give. It was time for The Voice to be thing that gives. Furthermore, Blake previously admitted the seasons were catching up with him. "The second I started feeling like, oh my gosh, I don't even remember what season this is anymore. Who are the coaches on this season? I knew that I needed to get away from here." Additionally, telling Today that it was a difficult decision for him. He says, "I think I was close to calling it a day right when Sylvain hit. And then because of COVID, I didn't want to walk away from the show and leave everybody in a bind." Although Blake Shelton doesn't seem to be in a hurry to return to The Voice, he has a few instances he teases that would warrant a comeback. In an interview with Extra TV on Sunday, he says, "I don't ever plan on working at The Voice again." Further adding, "Who knows? That's me sitting here as I say that right now." Then he says, "I can't say I wouldn't come by for a surprise appearance." Additionally, showing his gratitude for his time on the show, he says, "That show is the greatest and most important thing I've ever been a part of in my career. It changed my life." Admittedly, it sounds like Blake left on good terms. He says, "When I left, I feel like I really left. We all love each other." Likewise, Blake is thankful for the opportunity the show gave him to connect with his now wife, Gwen Stefani. During an interview on Thursday with Entertainment Tonight, Blake Shelton discusses one perfect scenario for his return to The Voice's big red chair. Blake says, if they were ever able to put together the original 4 coaches again, maybe I'd return for one season, a one-off, referring to a reunion with Adam Levine, Christina Aguilera, and CeeLo Green. He says, "That would be fun for me. That would be something I would be interested in doing." What do you think about the idea of Blake Shelton returning to The Voice? Do you think his experience is comparable to Wheel of Fortune host Pat Sajak's time on the show? Are you enjoying the current coaches on The Voice? Drop your comments below.